Got him. Got one. By golly. On that ACB brush hog. Well, there's a little start there for us. He ate that. Come on in here, son. Folks, today we are at Roosevelt Lake. You know, I came out hoping I could find a little spoon bite, but you know what? It's been a warmer fall than what we normally have. Living in the White Mountains, we normally get snow this time of year. What happens when it's snowing? The spoon bite kicks on, the spinner bait bite kicks on here. There's an old saying, of course, up in the White Mountains, if there's snow on the mountains, you better be throwing a spinner bait. But we're in mid-November here, and it's warm to the point where we're sweating out here. And so that spoon bite I haven't quite found yet. We've only been out about an hour or two, but I was looking around for it. Just didn't really see a whole lot going on. So we ended up going to the ACB brush hog. And this little bait right here is gonna be the ticket. Up shallow, it's a 4.5-inch bait. This is a green pumpkin one. It's made by Arizona Custom Baits. It's a beautiful little bait and a little creature bait. And we'll catch a lot of fish off this thing. It's got the little paddle tail on it. Now the thing he's done a little bit different is he's really narrowed it up, which I like, because you could throw that with a little 2/0 hook, 3/0 hook right there, and finesse, you know, downsize a little bit and still catch him. I'm throwing 17-pound test line with my Taipan heavy action rod, but I'll tell you, Texas rigging these with a little 3/8 ounce weight works really good, and that's probably what we're going to throw a little bit of, because when you catch a fish, there's no scent on this thing. I didn't put any scent on it, but when you catch a fish and it literally swallows the bait, that tells you something. You know, when they're eating like that, they're pretty much probably eating some crawdad. So the ones that are up shallow, you can see we're up in this pebble rock type stuff here. Those fish there are up there probably eating crawdad. Those are the fish we're gonna fish for a little while. See if we can't get something going. This was my second cast on this thing today. So we're gonna throw it a little bit and see what we can't do. Got him. That's a little better fish there by that tree. Come on, you. Right by that tree. We got that one. Look at how crooked the tail is on that fish. He's a cripple. He's got, look at him. And he's getting around just fine, and he fought really good. He's probably swimming real good. His tail got broke when he was young or something. He seems to be fine. Wow, you don't run into much of that at all when you're fishing. Once in a while you see the gash on their back or something like that, but in all honesty, man, that poor little guy, but he's getting around good. He's getting the job done, you know? Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is a lot of fun. One of the things I'm doing too that to me is real important, you know, it's not so important when you're fishing the rocks, but when you're fishing anything that's got wood in it. And along here, you can see we have all this pebble rock, but we also have wood, and even below. So I don't want my bait, I don't want to be pulling my bait, because I am dragging the bait a lot, to where the weight comes over the tree, and see how it will separate, and then have your weight here, and then have the bait hanging over the limb like that. So to keep that from happening, I put a little bobber stop on that thing, on that tungsten weight, and it'll hold it into place right there, so where I can drag it over the limb, and now it's all in place. See how it doesn't come up down? So that's really important for me as well. You know, one thing about Arizona Custom Baits that I've noticed with all their baits that I've been throwing lately is they are so soft that I think when the bass grabs it, they just start running with it. They're eating it, they'll chomp on it. It feels real to them. And you know, the old plastics back in the old days, of course, were really hard, but these are really soft and pliable. And these legs, oh man, they just really ripple in the water really nice. Now, you know, when you talk about different colors and things like that, if you ask me, you know, every fisherman has different colors, but I think a lot of us have standard colors we like to throw. Me, I like the green pumpkins, you know, anything that looks crawdaddy, you know, a black and blue or green pumpkin or something like that is a really good color choice for what we're doing. Now, if you see a fish and you get a fish and it's got the little orange crushers or something like that of the crawdad or something like that out there, you can always dip your tails or something like that in that spike it stuff and change the color of your tail. And by doing that, you know, kind of imitate the pinchers or something like that. But yeah, that's the ticket. You can see these baits, boy, they'll tear up. Make sure you get a couple packages of these things but man, the fish will just hold on and eat it. Try to get another fish out of that particular bait, but throwing a little 3/0 wide gap hook on that thing. I want to get some good meat on it. You can also throw the straight shank, the offset shank hook would be good too as well. You know, throw a 2/0 or 3/0 on this particular bait. This is the 4.5 inch. But nice bait, really nice bait. 3/8 ounce normally is what I like to throw on these deep clear water lakes or you know, the reservoirs that we're on, whether I'm at Pleasant, here at Roosevelt. 3/8 ounce probably on the weight. You can go quarter if you're really shallow in the spring or you're fishing a flat or something that's like 5 feet of water. But one of the reasons I like the 3/8 ounce, it's really important for me when I'm dragging across these rocks. I want that thing to clank across the rocks. It makes a noise, that tick, 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 just like a crawdad. So as I'm bringing it across the bottom, you know, it's really hammering the rock. And I think it really initiates a strike from a bass a lot of times. So that's why I like that 3/8 ounce. You can go to a 1/2 ounce, a little heavier than that, but you'll be getting hung up a lot as well. So 3/8 ounce, I can get out pretty good on these little rocks. So it works out pretty good. Got him. Got him right off that point. Oh, he ain't that big. Oh, it's still a fun fish though. He's the smallest one of the bunch. Get up here, buddy. You know what? That's a lot of fun when you figure them out a little bit. Not catching the giant fish yet, but you know, we haven't gone down the bank very far. If you follow this bank all the way to that point where I started catching the first one, just kind of working my way down the bank, and they are chomping this ACB brush hog, just chomping it. It's the perfect size for the crawdads that they're eating, evidently, because they're eating it. And what I'm doing is I'm fan casting out on this point now. I'm out on this point, and I moved up, and then I'm kind of fan casting out to where, you know, I'm sitting in 22 foot of water right here. And basically what you do when you throw it out there is you let it fall to the bottom, pick up your slack. Now, a lot of guys start out, and what they like to do is do that 9 to 12 o'clock pull. And what I mean by that is you have your rod tip at about 9 o'clock, and then you pull it up to about 12 o'clock. And you're pulling the bait up and down like this. What I like to do, I kind of call it like the Arizona drag. I like to sweep the rod tip across the bottom. That way, if you get bit, you can really feel the bite, and you can feel the bait coming across the top of the rocks. And as you're pulling it, it'll drag over top of the rocks and really clunk them good just by dragging it. Versus if you go up and down like that, you're just kind of pulling it up over like this. You could do either one, but I like the pull drag. There he is. Got him. I got that one. I came over a real nice rock there and felt him just dragging it, doing the old Arizona drag. Come here, little feller. Not a big fish, but yeah. Another little ACB brush hog bass. You know, I changed colors too. Went through some areas where, you know, I'd already been, but I was getting bites, and I'm like, I'd like to go back through that area again. You know, one thing to really think about when you're doing this kind of fishing is if you do go through an area where you're getting bite after bite after bite with one color, and it starts to slow down a little bit, maybe give it a little rest might help. The other thing is, sometimes I like to change colors. This is that watermelon red flake. You almost can't go wrong with that color. You know, I've got some of my favorite colors. Green pumpkin's by far one of my favorite colors, but you know, I do throw watermelon red flake. It's a great color. I love it. I love it with my Cincos. But that's an awesome little bait right there. Just dragging it along. You know, I'm throwing it out there. I'm feeling it come over rock. If you don't get hung up, if you can get it to where it doesn't get hung up on those rocks, a lot of times on one side or the other, that rock's going to be that fish. But you don't want to ever not go back through the area where you were getting bit earlier. You know, don't say, hey, I caught all the fish, or they've already seen my bait, or, you know, you can go back through there with a different color bait, go back through there with a drop shot or something, and go right back through that area. If they're biting, they're biting. And, you know, you find areas where they're at, you want to stay in those areas. That old saying is, don't leave fish to find fish. So you want to make sure you stick in areas where you're getting bit anyways, and maybe change up a little bit, and you might get some new strikes. Hey folks, for my tip of the week, one thing I want to tell you is tungsten's a real hard metal. And you know, we talked about the bobber stop on the front to hold it down, but one other thing that's really important to do, I think, is put a little bobber stop underneath the weight. And the reason for that is so the weight itself, when you get caught up in these rocks, doesn't cut your line. It actually acts as a little sponge. So when I bring that down, you can see I have that little yellow bobber stop. I'm using the yellow ones because I don't like them on the front. I like the black or the red. So I'll use the yellow ones right there, and I'll just slide them up underneath the weight there, and that way it protects the knot. So I don't put a whole lot of glass. You know, if you want to use glass, you can. A lot of times if I'm fishing in flats or something like that, I like glass at night. I like, you know, using, you know, plastic beads or something. Tungsten will break the glass once in a while, especially when you're fishing these kind of rocks and you're clunking it across really hard. So one thing about that is glass will cut your line if it breaks. So, you know, you get a good fish on, you'd be heartbroken. So I'm not using that right now, but I'm using the weight itself to click the bottom. So, but putting that little bobber stop right up underneath there and acting as a sponge for that weight when you're really pulling it hard over those rocks will help you keep from busting your knot. That's my tip of the week. Little guy. Oh man, I mean, he's got to be little. Yeah, he is. He's little. Shoot. Something really cool that Arizona Custom Baits came out with that you can also throw. And they kind of built it for the drop shot scene, which was really cool because, you know, we're all throwing straight tail worms or even the curl tail worms, but look at that little dude. That's a little 3-inch, let me get it hooked up here for you. A little 3-inch watermelon red flake ACB brush hog. Look at that. And it's perfect for the drop shot. Look at that little guy. And I just had a big catfish on just a minute ago and lost it, but these fish get in tune all the time to see the same bait all the time, the worms and things like that. But man, when you talk about a neat looking little critter now, that's a cute little bug for drop shotting with. And guaranteed you're gonna catch some fish on that little dude with a drop shot rig. Throw it with a #1 rebarb hook is what I'm throwing it with, and it's a great little bait. Caught that little fish, had a big catfish on. We haven't been fishing at 5 minutes. And just wanted to show this bait that you can even drop shot the little brush hog. The little ACB brush hog. You don't have to just Texas rig all the time. They make them small enough to where you can actually drop shot them as well. Get them down there, and they catch fish, let me tell you. Cool idea. I always like to find bluffy areas to try to catch fish on too when I'm doing these techniques. And there's 2 types of areas I'll hit. I'll hit the bluffier areas where the rock's straight up and down, you know, it drops to say 20 or 30 feet, or I'm gonna find flats, and I'm gonna go to the end of those flats where it has a good little drop off, because you never know, you might be able to find yourself a spoon bite in that area. And so I like to hang around where I think I might be able to find some spoonfish as well. So that's one thing that's real important in the fall, is that, you know, if fishing slows down and you're kind of just, you know, fishing around a little bit, I like to come to the dam area because I like that bluffier type stuff. But then if I have to go fish a flat, I'm gonna fish the end of that flat where it has just a straight drop off, or it drops off really good into deeper water, and I'll fish the tip of that flat, you know, and roll it over each side of the corner of it, and have a lot of fun doing that, and then hope I can see the spoonfish if they're out there, you know. So you get the best of both worlds doing that, fishing the deeper water. Got him. That's a good fish. he hammered it. That's right under the boat fishing. Oh, I lost him. One of the hardest things to do in fishing, and it's real hard, you want to go out with that predetermined thing that you want to do when you go out fishing, whether a technique, you know, whether it's a spinnerbait, a buzzbait, or, you know, spoons. We wanted to come out here and spoon fish. I thought, man, the spoon bite was going to be on. It's always works out, it seems like, that you got to find another way to catch them besides the one that's in your mind that you think you're going to catch them on. You know, the weather's not quite right for it. It's, you know, it's getting close. The nights are getting cooler, but the days are still really hot. And it doesn't matter what time of year it is, you know, it comes down to water temperature and the warmth of the water and what's going on too. See, all that comes into play. So we ended up going to a little Texas rig, getting on some boulders, catching some fish after all. And I'll tell you what, you need to pick yourself up some Arizona custom baits. And like I said, today was the green pumpkin pepper. And we had a lot of fun with that. The ACB brush hogs, they're 4.5 inch. And you'll have a lot of fun with these baits. Be sure to pick up more than one bag, because you'll run through them. These fish were, I mean, clobbering us today. I missed a few, and I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun there for a while. Started slowing down as the light level started going down, but hey, not too bad for only a couple hours worth of fishing out here today. So, you know, we were able to come out this afternoon, get down here and have a little fun right here at Roosevelt Lake. It's always been one of my favorite lakes. It's been hit and miss lately, but you can still get out here and catch them. There's still a lot of fish in the lake, and you know, the big limits will be coming soon, I'm sure. But until next time, we'll catch you on the water. Hopefully we'll get on a spoon bite soon, for sure. See you soon. I'm Johnny Johnson. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about, folks.